In the summer of 1945, the world stood at the edge of exhaustion. But in Japan, the war was not yet over. The cities were scarred by firebombing, the navy was shattered, and supplies were vanishing, yet the government still refused to surrender. Across the Pacific, American military planners studied maps of the Japanese homeland and prepared for an invasion they feared would cost hundreds of thousands of lives. But another option had emerged from secrecy, science, and urgency. For 3 years, under the tightest security, thousands of scientists had worked on a weapon powered not by explosives, but by the splitting of the atom. In July 1945, in the desert of New Mexico, that weapon proved real. The test explosion turned night into day and confirmed that humanity had entered a new and dangerous era. President Harry Truman now faced a decision unlike any leader before him: continue the war with conventional bombing and blockade, or use a weapon that could end it instantly. Warnings were issued to Japan, demanding unconditional surrender, but no acceptance came. So a target was chosen: Hiroshima, a city of soldiers, workers, families, and children, largely untouched by previous bombing. On the morning of August 6th, a single B-29 bomber approached the city under clear skies. At 8:15 a.m., the bomb was released. For a brief moment, it fell silently. Then the sky exploded. A blinding flash, brighter than the sun, consumed the city center. A shockwave tore through buildings, crushing concrete and splintering wood. Temperatures soared so high that steel bent and human shadows were burned into stone. Within seconds, tens of thousands were dead. Fires erupted everywhere, merging into a raging firestorm. Those who survived stumbled through smoke and rubble, their skin burned, their world unrecognizable. Hospitals had collapsed, doctors were missing, and the injured received little help. Stranger still was an invisible sickness. In the days that followed, survivors began losing hair, vomiting blood, and collapsing without visible wounds. Radiation, a word few understood, was silently claiming more lives. By the end of the year, Hiroshima had lost an estimated 140,000 people. Yet Japan's leaders remained divided. Some believed surrender was inevitable, others insisted the nation must fight on. Then, on August 8th, the Soviet Union declared war on Japan and launched a massive invasion in Manchuria. Japan now faced defeat from two unstoppable forces. Still, before a final decision could be reached, a second bomber was already in the air. On August 9th, clouds covered the primary target, forcing the aircraft towards its secondary objective. Nagasaki lay in a valley surrounded by hills. At 11:02 a.m., the second atomic bomb detonated above the city. The explosion ripped through factories, homes, and churches. Another city vanished beneath fire and smoke. Tens of thousands more lives were extinguished in an instant. This time, the shock could not be ignored. The combination of atomic destruction and Soviet invasion shattered the remaining resistance within Japan's government. In a rare and decisive act, Emperor Hirohito intervened personally. He chose surrender. On August 15th, his voice was broadcast across the nation for the first time. The war was over. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki ended the deadliest conflict in human history. They also began something new. The United States briefly stood as the only nuclear power in the world. But within 4 years, the Soviet Union would test its own atomic bomb. An arms race followed, building weapons far more powerful than those dropped on Japan. The world entered the Cold War under the constant threat of nuclear annihilation. Cities rebuilt, families mourned, and survivors carried scars that would last a lifetime. The events of August 1945 were not only the end of a war, they were the beginning of the nuclear age. From that moment forward, every global crisis would unfold in the shadow of atomic fire. A single flash over Hiroshima changed military strategy, global politics, and the limits of human power forever. And even today, the memory of those mornings serves as a reminder of how fragile civilization can be when science, war, and fear converge.